how do you balance between your own personal life and your business? How do you manage everything?
My business is my life, meaning I have fun in business. So I'm already living the life I want to live by doing Marini. So I don't look at Marini like work, or, you know, as people would say, jobo.
Yeah.
As in, I go to the office knowing I'm going to kill it, and sometimes we even like crack jokes with my team, share chocolates and sweets, toast up to successes, feel bad about failures. And as I'm doing that, we don't realize it, but you're actually living life. So the key thing is to enjoy what you do. Outside of Marini, I travel a lot. I mentioned I love, you know, outdoor sports, adrenaline activities, hang out with my friends, my family. That's really key for me. I try to go to at least one new destination every quarter in a year. So really, you need to be honest with yourself. And once you enjoy your work and everything outside your work, your life becomes whole. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Chris, what do you think?
I actually fully agree with what she's saying. Your business literally is your baby. And if your baby doesn't make you happy and you're not able to enjoy your baby, then you're gonna have animosity and you'll always want to like take a break. But then that said, I still really advocate for having your boundaries, right? So even if you have your business and you've started out something, have days that are just for you, you know, to recoup yourself. Because if you're not okay as the CEO, the founder, or whatever, if you're not okay, then your baby is not going to be okay, right? Yeah. So even with the enjoyment and everything, have some time that you set for yourself. It could be a day a week, or, you know, maybe some hours in the day or something where it's just you time and you're not involved with your baby per se. And that really helps you to also just like learn yourself and give yourself, whether you like your massages or traveling, or, you know, just time for you as, you know, Chris Njoki, or as Michelle, or as, you know, where you're able to build yourself so that you can also give more, come back with more energy and give more to your baby.
As they're taking the time to focus on themselves and to recharge, even if given that they're still one with their business, Masoko is there to ensure that their business is running properly. How can you encourage more businesses to see that this partnership with them will help them not only focus on their business, but focus on themselves as well?
Basically, what you get is a back-end access to run your shop. So as long as you have a computer from your phone, you can actually run your shop from wherever you are. The only difference would be for deliveries, right? So even if you go on holiday, you just leave one person there, they process the orders, they drop them off. So that way you're not tied to being there all the time, right? Also, what we do is we understand that you need to take a break, you need to travel. We encourage you to do something called holiday mode. Or also what we offer is we offer consignment. So you can keep your products with us in our warehouse, and that way your shop keeps running even if you're away. We process the orders and we make sure they go to the customer. So that way there's business continuity, like it never stops at any point because you need to go away. So you can manage your shop from anywhere, and also we can keep the business running even if you're not there.
Chris, when it comes to Icon, did you ever feel like at one point maybe I should give up? What kept you going? What was that low moment, and how did you break free?
There have been so many, you know, and I feel like those hard moments for me even pushed me a lot more. So I told you how I started with the secondhand clothing, and that's how I saved my money and everything. So, you know, I'd saved all this money, and I was like, cool, so I'm gonna do this and this. So initially I knew I wanted to get into ready-to-wear, and the place I knew I had to go to was China. I had my interpreter and she was there interpreting everything, and I was like, yeah, I need a factory. I had my samples in my suitcase. We go there, and, you know, it just hit me that these guys, yes, they do mass production, but it's nowhere near the minimums I'm looking at, you know.
Oh, wow.
These guys are hitting me with like 3,000 units per style, per color, and I'm like, no one, mind you, I've just started Icon, no one knows the name, no one knows who I am, nothing. So I'm there, and I remember I was there for about 7 days. And I went through so many factories. Eventually, on like the second last day, I found this small place where they could do my stuff, but then the minimum was 1,000 pieces. So there's 1,000 pieces per style, per color, which is still a lot. If you're thinking of a brand that's just starting out, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I remember I was on the phone with my parents, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. They're like, no, you have to make sure you do something. You can't have to go there just like as a waste. And I said, just make sure you just do something. I'm like, cool. So I go there and I'm like, yeah, so I want this and this. We go through the samples, everything. And I'm like, okay, you know what? It's a lot of money, but it's fine. I'll sort it out in Nairobi. It's okay. I'll sort it out. So I put down the deposit, which was literally the last of the money. So I put down the deposit, everything. They told me, cool, your stuff will be ready in 1 month. We'll ship it to you. I'm like, awesome. So I go back to Nairobi. Now I'm frantically trying to like set up the brand. So I'm trying to register. I hadn't done any of this. I'm trying to register the brand. I'm trying to, get onto like places where I can sell all this stuff, just so when the product comes, I'm ready. So the product comes after exactly 1 month, and I remember I was excited, but I was also a bit scared. And it came in like 3 big boxes, massive boxes. And I remember I opened the box and I was really excited, and I took out one piece and I was like, shit, this is not what I ordered.
Oh my god.
The fabric was different. It was such low quality. It was really, really bad. Some of the zippers were faulty. Like it was bad.
God.
And I'd already paid like the final amount. So I'm there and I'm like, I remember for that whole evening, I cried so much.
Oh no.
I cried so much because I didn't know what to do, and I had this product, and even me, I felt bad. I didn't want to sell a product that wasn't exactly what I intended to my consumer, and especially because it's the first thing they're seeing, So I remember I really bawled that day, and during the night, I remember I woke up at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and I was like, no, you know what? We need to find a way. Like, you can't just quit now. You've come so far. It's okay. That stuff is not good, but it's okay. Let's figure it out. And I woke up the next morning. Good thing is I brought in some extra fabric from my trip there, just like fabric I really liked and appreciated. So from that fabric that I brought, I just sat down, created a small collection, maybe like a 6-piece collection. And I really I did everything. I did the stitching myself. I did everything. I took all the pictures, created a lookbook, and then just spread out the lookbook to everybody I knew who was in the industry. Thankfully, the lookbook was picked up by one of actually my style icons at the time was Diana Okosi, and she picked it up. She was doing this campaign on 100 days of African fashion.
I saw that.
And she picked up my lookbook and she was like, you know what? I really like this piece. And she actually took the piece and said, I'm charging other designers, but I can see you're really trying, and I'm not going to charge you for anything.
Oh,
and I was like, okay, wow, that's amazing. So she took my piece, she wore it for her thing, and it blew off. And she was like, oh my gosh, people love this thing. Make me 6 pieces. I want this thing, and you can sell it to them. And I was like, cool. And I remember those 6 pieces, I did them myself on the machine, and I delivered them to her, and they sold out, and she ordered more. And that's how literally we grew from the ground up like that. And like it just became, so once we got onto her radar, then everybody else started seeing, and they're like, oh, we love your stuff, we'd love to stock you. And literally that's how the brand grew. Like, we grew from such a low point. And I look back and I'm like, if that small thing would have made me give up or whatever, we wouldn't be existing
where
right
you
now,
are today. Yeah.
And it came at the worst time. That was the beginning.
That's so interesting. Michelle, I'm sure there are some laws that have defined probably who you are or have been beneficial when it comes to growing your business.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us something about that.
Yeah. My lowest point, as I can remember, is 2017, around the time during elections. Marini was doing so badly, so badly. This Marini that you see now was nothing like it. I don't know if you guys remember our older products, the older look Marini.
Yeah.
And because we were outsourcing production to a factory right here in Kenya, in Kikuyu, and the formulation is world class. Like, the formula itself is a Revlon formulation, but the execution was just horrible. So I don't know if they were duping us with the raw materials or not putting enough preservative. So what was happening is our products were actually going bad on shelf. Now, customers do not know about preservatives or natural or organic.
Then they
They're just
don't care,
No, don't buy that Marini product. And it was so bad. And then elections came, and of course, business was at a standstill already. Even if your brand is flourishing, elections always tend to slow down things.
The economy is always.
So it was so bad. There's a time I just sat down with my best friend, who's also my co-founder, and we're like, this could be it. This could be the end of the road for Marini. Revenue was at an all-time low. Our key staff had left us. They were just like, hey, Marini, like, Michelle, you're thinking amazing. Got to go. It hurt. It hurt a lot, and it was such a low point. And I remember me and my co-founder just wondering, tutambia nini watu? Like, what are we gonna do? We had so many dreams. I started this brand inspired by my dad, who got unwell. So I really felt like I want to finish this. I want to do this for him, and I want to keep the fire burning. But it reached a point where we don't even have money for salaries, for rent, for what. And then, to make matters worse, social media is a bad thing. It can be your best friend or your enemy. So once your product goes on buyer beware, so somebody just took a photo of the curling gel. This was a product with a problem, and it had mold.
Oh no!
And they were just like, guys, don't buy Marini. Look what I found on the shelves. Blah 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 blah. And that was just like the nail in the coffin. So yeah.
And it's amazing. Like no one from the outside, no one can tell. Like
the struggles.
Exactly.
But it's good that we're able to share and like tell guys that things happen. But then it's how you come up from it.
Your lowest lows, and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to survive this, but you have to believe in yourself.
It's true.
And that's the thing. I think even these guys who came and built you guys up and helped you, overcome that hurdle, everyone can see your vision, and that's why they believed in you and they were like, no, you can't stop here, we're gonna help you. And I think it's important for us to build each other up, right? People will always talk on social media, and given the fact that you guys actually produce and sell products, people will either have good things to say or the bad things to say. So even though they say the bad thing, don't let that discourage you. You can always find a way to manage your reputation online. So if it's something about now, like for example, a complaint about your product, it's as easy as just finding out, like reaching out to the person and asking them, okay, what's the problem, and finding a solution. Because if you do find, like, it doesn't even matter whether they've posted on Buy and Beware, but if you're able to manage that one person and to manage them in such a lovely way, they'll actually now become the advocate for your brand. So I just encourage you guys to just find a way to manage your online reputations, and don't let it discourage you, because it's simply a matter of being human and talking to that person and finding out what the issue was, apologizing if it's possible, and then you'll see now that person will be your biggest defender.
In fact, I always say, not everyone who gives you negative feedback is a hater.
They're not.
Not everyone qualifies to be called a hater. Someone like, I've had so many DMs in on my Instagram or Marini say, oh Michelle, first and foremost, I admire you so much. Secondly, I tried this product and it was too this for me. You can't call that person a hater because they've even acknowledged me, said hello and everything. But sometimes I think because entrepreneurs, because we're so passionate about our business and our art, if somebody just so much as says, oh, the smell is overwhelming, you call them a hater.
You take it personally.
Maybe you need to check on your scent. Maybe it is overwhelming.
So that's actually constructive criticism.
Exactly.
Be mature enough to take it
and
as advice
and build on your product or your service.
Okay.